I hope there's a thumbnail with all four of us. I think there is. You said what?
Do you live ECU? Do you breathe purple and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors? Now, time for the most in-depth look at the world of ECU athletics. Welcome in to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Now, here's your host, Stephen Igo.
Welcome in to Hoist the Colors on this Friday, March 22nd edition of the program. It is a very fun weekend. March Madness well underway. Already got a big upset. Oakland taking down Kentucky last night. The March Madness will continue today and into the weekend. We'll discuss that, as always, with Joseph Sampson, who joins us every Friday. We're also going to talk some East Carolina baseball, especially here in segment one, as Scott Rogers will join us here shortly. Philip Pilkington producing. We've got our MLB divisional previews. We did the AL East and the NL East a couple of weeks ago. Then last week we were hit by the shortened show due to the conference basketball tournament, so we were unable to do the Centrals. So we're going to cram the Centrals in the West into today's show, if possible, and we'll do that along with some March Madness and ECU baseball talk. So glad to have you along board on this Friday. And let's introduce our fine guest. We'll start with Scott Rogers, live from San Antonio, Texas. Scott, how would you rate San Antonio thus far in your brief time there?
Well, if I rate it, it would not be too high because I thought I was going to die about 5 times yesterday. But the establishment that we ate at last night, solid 8 out of a 10. So far, so good. We'll see once we get over the Roadrunner field here in a few hours.
Yeah, I want to ask you about Roadrunner Field because I've heard not so good things, and you guys have been there already for some practice. Joe Sampson is in the 94.3 The Game studio. Joe, how's your bracket looking?
My bracket's great. All but 3 are wrong. No, all but 3 are right. So, had Kentucky, but I had them losing to NC State the next round anyway. Didn't have, hurts me, pains me to say it. I didn't take Gonzaga. I'll say it. First one to stand up.
A lot of people didn't.
I don't think Gonzaga's a very good basketball team. I think McNeese was 30-3, was leading their conference and multiple other conferences in scoring per game. They literally were 30-3. Yes. Did they beat a team called the Mississippi College for Women for Men? Absolutely. But it's March, and that's not what matters. It's about who shows up. And last night Gonzaga did, but I don't think they show up the next round. So,
Philip Pilkington is producing today's show. Do we have producer cam set up, Phil?
Yes, we do.
there we go.
Yeah.
How's your bracket looking, Philip? And how much research did you do for our MLB previews? Because last time you went above and beyond, and you probably didn't even get to use a lot of that. So what about this time?
With us having to cram 4 divisions into like one segment, I did not do nearly as much. I have a few talking points up here in the old noggin, but not nearly as much research. The bracket's looking okay. I do have 2 Sweet 16 teams already out, which hurts, but all my Elite 8 teams are still intact. And if you can survive the first round with all your Elite 8 teams, you're in a good spot because it seems like most years, you know, there's a bunch of big upsets and you've got 2 or 3 of your Elite 8 teams already out.
Yeah, you definitely whiffed on Texas Tech playing Kentucky.
Yep, that one hurt. Yep. As Joey Football sits there with everybody's bracket, so he can just make fun of us.
He is evaluating the entire field of brackets.
Analyst.
All right, let's start with we'll get into some more match madness. We'll get into some more March Madness talk, and we'll do that here shortly. But I want to start with ECU baseball. Scott Rogers again in San Antonio. So Roadrunner Field, Scott, how did it live up to the hype? You've been over there, right?
I have not been over there yet.
Oh, you haven't?
But it
Okay.
is I have not. They did practice there last night, but I have yet to seen Roadrunner Field in person yet.
So you got word that you would not have to broadcast from either the roof or the stands. They did construct, I guess, a visiting broadcast booth. Is that right?
They apparently got a new press box and new grandstand this year. Yes, it still looks like a quote-unquote high school setup, but I am very happy that I will not be sitting out the Texas heat this afternoon. That is a big positive on this trip. Very big positive.
So East Carolina going in, riding an 8-game winning streak, and playing some of their best ball, even though I still feel like they can play a lot better. I thought Tuesday at Elon was one of their more well-rounded games, winning 10-1. But I don't know, Scott, what do you think of this UTSA team as you've done some research? Like, are they capable of winning this series if East Carolina doesn't show up, or should this be a series the Pirates take care of business if they play their brand of baseball?
I think this UTSA team certainly has the opportunity to do that. They are hitting over 300 as a team right now, and that was one thing. This team has got some talent on it. They've worked the portal a little bit. They were in the top 25 for a little bit last season, and so they've got some winning pieces there. Now, on the pitching side of things, that's where it's going to be interesting because UTSA, I think the number is three left-handed pitchers total on this roster, and only one of them has thrown in a game this season. And so that's one thing that I'm going to be curious to watch this weekend because East Carolina hits right-handers so well. And so when you throw that into the equation and them not having the, really ability to go to any left-handers out of the bullpen, that's going to be something to watch on the offensive side for East Carolina.
Joey football, also Joey baseball this time of year. And it's a Trey day, as you said. Trey Savage, I'm sure, making their way over Cracker Barrel at some point pregame because that seems to be the good luck charm. But, Joey, when you look at Trey Savage starting every Friday night, I mean, you can't ask for much more if you're the Pirates to go out there and know that you're going to have your horse open conference play open every series as long as he's healthy with more than likely a very quality start.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing you have to say is we don't have one ace. We have two. Zach Root has been unbelievable. Let's not diminish him as far as a future ace caliber player, but you have a future first-round pitcher every Friday. Anytime that you can go into a series like that and you can dictate that kind of defensive pressure, that kind of pitching pressure, even the third and fourth time through the order when you get into those deeper bullpen arms, those guys are rattled. They're starting to think a little bit more about how the fastball's playing in. If the ump's calling things on the inside, and Scooter can attest to this, is all of a sudden your approach changes. Everything else, you're trying to think inside and pull it outside, you're off. And that's what Trey does. He disrupts timing. He throws a great fastball. Has a lot of run to it, which is not a flat fastball where people can kind of sit on it like a meatball. He's got a great breaking ball. He's gone to the changeup a little bit more, that slutter, he likes to call it. I mean, that's really just kind of been one of those things that's been in his arsenal this year as opposed to last year. He looks like a complete pitcher and an ace.
And Scott, we were texting, I think, last night or earlier this week, and UTSA going with Friday, they have a starter. Saturday, TBA. Sunday, they have a set starter. Kind of weird that you would go Saturday, TBA, and not Sunday. But what did you make of that, if anything?
Yeah, and this UTSA team, too, a lot of times, based off of some of their box scores this year, it doesn't appear they have a true Friday night guy this year based off – it's almost like they've used kind of that opener role a lot of times. And so – and the thing, too, is, with, like I said, not having a lot of lefties, having a right-handed dominant pitching staff, what are they thinking facing East Carolina and a team that hits right-handers so well? And so you might look at this as one of these things where, hey, we go out there Friday, see what we got left, and try to sneak a game on Saturday or something like that. But, and I told you this, I think, on text, like I had never seen a team go TBA on Saturday and have a set starter on Sunday. It was just an odd rotation to see come through.
So conference play again here for ECU, and I feel like, it's tough for East Carolina because they're going to get every team's best shot. And I want to preface this conversation with this, but like as I look at the league, like I'm just disappointed, man. Outside of Wichita State, nobody has been above average, I feel like, in non-conference play, and that's just only going to hurt ECU. as league play gets going. And I don't know. It's tough in baseball to go out there and win the vast majority of games when, because A, it's baseball, but B, you're going to get the team's best shot. The margin for error is very thin given what the conference RPI looks like right now if ECU wants to be a national seed or host. So I don't know. As I look at it, Scott, ECU is going to have to dominate this league to be where they want to be, which is A, hosting a regional, B, maybe being a national seed, which makes it tough and puts some pressure on them every conference series. But this is kind of the start of that, and obviously they're going to have to win this league to have a shot to do those things.
Yeah, they do, and this is a really good league in terms of us being able to dominate it this year. And like you said, it has been a little disappointing, especially teams like who we face this weekend, UTSA. You look at Charlotte, and even Tulane is starting to come up a little bit. I think they've played maybe a little bit better than they have expected here the start of the year. But still, with Wichita State, they've really emerged, I think, as the number 2 team in this league right now, and that's not even mentioning clubs like FAU and Rice that are still, like you said, kind of disappointing right now. But like you said too, this is a chance for East Carolina, I think, to really dominate the American this year. And I think it also helps having that Wichita State and Charlotte series at home, because I think still those are going to be probably your 2 toughest series throughout this season. But yes, this is a good opportunity for East Carolina to really dominate this conference year and try to boost that resume as much as they can with this league.
Wow, the 4-screen setup.
Wow.
This is big time. Philip Pilkington putting in, if you're watching our live stream, we've got the quad box setup. Looks clean, too.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't have it at the beginning. My bad. I've been working on it this segment.
Yeah, looks good. Looks good. By the way, that reminds me, we need to come up with a new group chat name. We have a text chat, and we might as well discuss it on the air. We have had the Caleb Account fan club as our group chat name for the past, at least year or so?
I'd say since you started working here, so yeah, about a year.
Yeah.
So we're all huge Caleb Account fans, and that was the reason why. It was, but the Caleb Account has transferred, and nobody sends more stickers or pictures of Caleb Account than Scott. So how heartbroken are you of K1 transferring, Scott?
Well, one, like you said, we got to find a new name for the group chat, and I have to find new stickers of somebody to send, which we got to see. We got to see who we pick up in the portal here, who doesn't leave this year as well, and then we'll make that decision maybe around, I would say maybe a month or 2 before basketball season gets started. See who we're liking, and it's going to be it's going to be a tough decision though. I mean, it's hard to follow up LeCount fan club.
So Scooter, you to preference, you have to find a new ECU athlete to send stickers of, because you like to send stickers of us all the time.
This is true.
Somebody
Correct.
says something, you've got the perfect
for every
expression.
response.
Yeah,
And a couple other HTC employees.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm old because I don't know how to do any of the sticker
I don't know how
stuff.
to do it either. I don't know if he's just making
It took me a while to
PNGs
figure it out,
or
but
what
once
he's
I
doing.
did.
I remember the text when Scooter sent. He said, "Did you know you can do this?" And then he just started sending stickers randomly. So you guys aren't that far behind. This is a new feature. We'll get into the film room. We'll evaluate ourselves, and we'll come back stronger.
We even have Patrick Johnson stickers.
The P-Man.
We have Coach O stickers.
We do have a Coach O sticker.
We do.
Coach O not in San Antonio though?
He is not. He will be making the trip to FAU and to Clearwater this year.
Oh, I see what Coach O did. He's like, we're going
He
to
knows
sunny
what he's
Florida.
doing.
I'm going. We're going
But
anywhere else. Have fun,
respect
boys.
for him knowing how to get the beach trip involved.
He's
Exactly.
probably hanging out at the beach, considering he's not working this weekend, but he's at the beach right now in
He could
Wilmington
be.
or something.
He could be.
He's a smart man.
Dr.
So
Coach.
Do we have to keep the group chat name basketball related?
No.
I think it should shift. I think it should go to baseball related now, and then over the summer go to football for a time, and then go to basketball.
I agree.
It should.
I like
Okay.
that.
We can do that. So I tell you what, we'll come up with a new group message nickname, and we'll let the masses know next Thursday when Scott Rogers is on, and then we'll discuss it further next Friday when Joey Football is back
wow.
with us.
There
So
we go.
we'll work on that. So we'll get it done over the next week. All right, guys, March Madness discussion. Again, 7 o'clock Eastern, first pitch tonight for UTSA, 6 Central. Tune in to Scott Rogers, who will be on the call, not on top of the press box, but in his own radio booth. So tune in for that.
Still in a tin can.
Yeah, still in a tin can.
What's worse?
We'll
what's
see
going to be worse, this or Elon? Elon's pretty bad. It's a tin can.
Well, considering that when I got to Elon, I had a mini heart attack because I, one, did not see any free power hookups and also did not see any Ethernet lines for internet. I was very concerned Tuesday. But Elon's IT department came through in the clutch and got us an internet line because I really thought I was going to have to call the studio and do the game on my phone. And I
Wouldn't
would
have
not
been the
have
first
been a
time.
happy camper.
Definitely wouldn't be the
Correct.
first time.
Correct. Cincinnati last year when the power went out.
Yep.
March Madness is underway, and the big story from yesterday: Oakland beating Kentucky. I don't know the pronunciation of the guy who hit 10, 11 threes or whatever,
10
but
threes.
he said they're not a Cinderella, so that was an interesting statement. They'll take on NC State, which defeated Texas Tech. But Joseph Sampson, what was your biggest takeaway from day one of the NCAA tournament?
This is what March is about. I mean, you got a guy who's going to go sell insurance in about 6 months at Northwestern, and he's feeding buckets, giving 10 threes to a team full of NBA lottery picks, might I add. Kentucky's probably going to have 3 or 4 players go in the first round at least. Never mind what's going to happen with some trickle downs and some people staying with the new NIL collectives and all that good jazz and the rumored in-season tournament we're going to do, which is pay to play, might I add, but that's another fight for another day. They're just feeding bucket. I mean, you look at them. Samford's not a bad basketball team by any means, but Kansas is was a defending national champion 2 years ago. Like, this is a good program. Bill Self has a lifetime contract at Kansas. This is what it's about. I mean, NC State is, yes, an 11 seed, and we're going to go through it. They won 5 games in 5 days and all that. But look at their record. Like, this is not a team that should be handling business like it is against Texas Tech, and that's what March is about.
Philip, what about you? What was your biggest takeaway?
I think my biggest takeaway is the quote-unquote bad teams in the tournament are not as bad as they used to be. I think, a lot of bad has come from the portal and NIL with guys transferring, but it's also brought a lot of good things, like with what Joe was saying there with Samford. These teams are a lot better. There's going to be a lot more upsets than we've even seen in previous years, and I think a 16 beating a 1 is not going to be as big of a deal 5-10 years from now as it was back in 2018 when it first happened, or even last year when it happened a second time. Also, the other takeaway is no lead is safe. We saw that in the Nevada-Dayton game. So it really is March, because you might be up 18 points with 4 minutes to go, but that doesn't mean anything. It matters what happens if the clock strikes 0.
Kansas was up 22 at one point also.
Yeah. That game was looking to be over.
Scooter, any game or individual performance stand out, or did you have a big takeaway?
Not really, and I'll bounce off of what they said on, some of these upsets that might not look as big. And I think that's, mainly because these mid-majors are getting, good talent still. Even through this NIL and everything, they're still getting good players. And I think it was Tom Izzo that said, during the week that the NCAA tournament need to be reevaluated so that there's not that many mid-majors or any mid-majors in it. Well, that's just completely wrong, because as we've seen this weekend, yeah, exactly. It's stupid not to have that, because this is what these schools live for, is these upsets in the NCAA tournament, and it gives them the opportunity to prove that they are just as good as these quote-unquote Power 5 teams.
Yeah, I get where – I just want to comment on that real quick. I get where Tom is coming from, because he's saying that maybe the best team doesn't win because they get upset by a team that doesn't deserve to be there. But this is what makes March great. And those Cinderella teams have won the title before. Go back to 1966 and Texas Western. No one was projecting them to win the tournament. They go on, they play Kentucky and Adolph Rupp, who had won how many ever titles, and they beat the Wildcats with only playing 6 players. They didn't even play their full bench in that championship game. So, look, this is possible, and I'm telling you, a 10, a 9 or lower has never won the title. I think in the next 10 years we'll see a 10, 12 seed, something like that, win an NCAA tournament.
Well, I mean, we saw a 9 last year with FAU that went to the Final Four, which is in the American, might I add, Izzo. So there's your mid-majors.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ika.
No, it's disappointing that anybody would want to change March Madness because it is the best postseason event by far because of look who's not pulling for Oakland in that situation unless you're a Kentucky fan. I mean,
Exactly.
everybody loves that.
Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean, just Kentucky, or I guess if you've got Kentucky winning the national championship in your bracket. But even like, I don't even care about my bracket when the upsets start to happen. I'm pulling for the upset every time. So I think it's great, man. It's just nothing beats this time of year. Nothing beats the first 2 days of the tournament for sure. And, definitely excited about today as the action gets underway. Northwestern and FAU starting just a few minutes ago here on this Friday. All right, a few more things, and we'll get out of here for this segment. We'll get Scooter out of here unless he wants to hang around for MLB preview. Duquesne beat BYU. That was my favorite play of the day for betting reasons. I had Duquesne money line. And I do have to say, Philip Pilkington, you did say Duquesne sucked. So what do you have to say for yourself about the Dukes getting it done?
They proved me wrong. I watched them play in the A-10 championship game. I thought they played bad, and VCU just played worse. Couldn't hit a shot, dug themselves into too big of a hole. But I called them out, and they answered. They looked really good yesterday. I mean, BYU obviously was cold shooting the basketball at times, but a lot of that was credit to the Dukes defense. And I hate those words, and I don't think I had them picked in either one of my bracket pools to win or that game. And credit to the Dukes.
Joey, you had a parlay going, couldn't quite finish it out with Drake. Is that correct?
That is correct. I don't know if we should get into this topic. How much time do we have before we need a break? I will implode on these refs.
Oh, goodness. Here we go.
That was a terrible call, first off. If you're falling over a double screen and you are the one receiving the inbound, you do not get the foul call. If anything, it's a loose bow fall, which is a re-checkup, even if you're in the bonus plus at that point. And Philip will tell you the same thing. If he's making a play on the ball, it is not a foul because they both have the right to the ball because the ball is not in possession. Should have been Drake ball.
Yeah, when it's a loose ball like that, it's got to be a double foul or nothing. I mean, two guys have the right to go over the ball. If you bounce shoulders off each other,
Thank you.
It's a loose ball.
Thank you, ref.
And Joe says that he can't officiate. I still think Joe would be a great Greenville Little League baseball umpire. We still have slots available, Joe.
No. First time somebody comes out of the dugout and kicks shoes on me, I implode. I make him go cry, make the kids go cry in the dugout, and I get thrown out and make Greenville look bad. That's not what we want, Scooter. It's a great town.
Yeah, there's some of our coaches deserve that. So
I like your self-awareness there, Joe.
You got to have a little self-awareness. I ate a shoe, for Christ's sake.
You did. It's still below you, I think.
It might be.
Yeah. I'm surprised you're still able to stand till this day.
Built different.
Digesting that shoe. Quite a feat. All right. We got to get a break in. Scott Rogers, appreciate you, man. We'll let you go enjoy San Antonio. So
we're gonna pop the NCAA tournament on here in the hotel room and chill for a couple hours before we make our way over to the ballpark here in a little bit.
Yes, and glad that you and your roommate could solve the ECU baseball social media account.
There he is. He's right there. Wave, Sean. He's our live studio audience. He revived the ECU baseball Twitter account today.
Sean is a hero.
He is. He is definitely a hero for Pirate Nation.
The hero we do not deserve. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Scooter. All right, appreciate it, man. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We will shift gears and get into our Major League Baseball divisional previews. We'll do the AL Central, the Yuck, but we'll find a way to do it, and the NL Central as well on this Friday. Be right back.
It's time to get more in 24 at Greenville Toyota. More savings, more selection, more for your trade. Get new Camrys, $269 a month, or new RAV4s, $299 a month. Save big and get more in 24 at Greenville Toyota.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you farm to fork beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to fork beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown. Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors, with locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cook-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Hey, grab me one too.
When a place is as special as this, you don't want to change a thing. You simply want to enjoy it, just as it is. That was our inspiration behind Bow Coast West, our newest community in Beaufort, North Carolina. Embrace all that we love about this very special place and make it easy for families to enjoy all that this coastal lifestyle has to offer. Be inspired. Bow Coast West.
Get more in 24 at Greenville Toyota. Get more savings on our huge Toyota selection. Shop new Corollas just $239 a month or new Tundras with 3.99% financing. Get more for your trade. Save big and get more in 24 at Greenville Toyota.
We're live with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Hoist the Johnny Roger!
Now, back to Hoist the Colors.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors on this Friday, March 22nd edition. We just had a robust quad box NCAA March Madness and ECU baseball discussion. We're now going back to our usual setup as Scott Rogers has departed us. He just could not get into the wild of San Antonio quick enough. So best of luck to him surviving the streets of San Antonio. Chuck on YouTube says bracket already busted with Kentucky losing. Weston Myers says the video Buccaneers is my vote. I guess for the nickname, guys, he wants to go the video Buccaneers. I think we can come up with something better than that, Weston. But I don't know. What do y'all think?
Respect to try.
Yeah, I like that. I like that we have fans interact and give us
This
suggestions.
is true.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but I still think that's a good starting point.
I think we need
and I think we can go up from there.
Need to play on something.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll take it into consideration.
We will.
Weston. We will continue with the feedback. And if you got a question, let us know, and we'll get to it. Kason Romeli, excuse me, wants to know where's the money today, boys. Y'all got any big bets set up?
Yeah, I do. I don't know if I want to share it. 9-leg parlay.
9 legs.
9 legs. It's all my bracket picks. So, like, in theory, it's whatever I was confident in that regard. It's the same thing as me putting the money into the bracket pool, just putting money on the boys, believing in myself. So, big upset today is going to be Grand Canyon over St. Mary's. Calling it now, picking it, book it. New Mexico, I don't know if it's really an upset. I know they're the 11 seed, but they are favored. I think they're minus 140 on the money line or something like that. So I wouldn't really count that as an upset if you're favored, but we'll see.
Yeah, Clemson's not that great.
No.
My big one is, and it may have changed. I actually got this one early in the week. Speaking of that Grand Canyon game, Greg Canyon, St. Mary's, who are both very good offensive teams. The over-under I got at was 31.5. I thought that was really low. Grand Canyon's like top 5 in the country in scoring. St. Mary's can shoot the lights out. This is a team that if they get hot and shoot the ball great for 6 games, could win the NCAA tournament. I don't think they do, but they're definitely a dangerous three-point shooting team. And I think both of these teams easily score 65 points, getting them, would get them to that 130 mark. So, and then somebody's at least got a win, scoring 67. So I feel good about at least 132.
I've got a few bets out for today. James Madison money line as they take on Wisconsin. I'm hoping that works out better than when I had McNeese State money line yesterday.
I also had McNeese, I feel.
Utah State, I've got them beating TCU, and then I also have New Mexico over Clemson. May get some more action. If you want to have some fun, I have not done this bet because I didn't get in on it early enough when the number was lower, but the over for the Alabama-Charleston game is super high, higher than any college basketball game due to the way those two teams play. I don't know what it's at right now, but it's probably a little late to be getting in on it because the number has risen by 4 or 5 points over the course of the week. But that could be an exciting game if you want to,
Maybe you pray for some defense. You pray for some Schwartz ball.
Yeah, you can go under.
Schwartz ball.
Because it's like it's up into the low to mid 170s now. So
no, it could be.
Yeah. Well, Joey, I almost called you Joey Brackets.
That's Joe.
Joey, yeah. Joey football's advice is to never bet the under, correct?
This is correct. Life's too short to bet the under.
There you go. All right, guys. Case Hermelli, by the way, says he's got Western Kentucky money line. They are taking on Marquette. That would be a big return if you hit on that. And Kaysen did hit on Oakland money line yesterday, so he knows what he's doing.
However, Marquette's point guard, I think, is supposed to be back today.
Oh, is
and
he?
Don't bet
That's
against
news.
Shaka Smart in the tournament.
Well,
come on.
In the early parts of the tournament.
Yeah.
In the early.
Yeah.
Don't put the money on Marquette to win.
No, but like Shaka Smart's not going to blow it.
I say that I have Marquette in the Final Four, but still. He also told me the insider information from Kaysen is he likes another upset. You should see if he gives you that little tidbit he gave me.
Well, now I'm mad that Kaysen's not sharing this information with me. Do y'all have a separate group chat going? I mean, what's the deal?
No, not a separate group chat. Me and Kaysen just text. We're just good friends.
There's a little bromance going on there. I mean, if I was the girlfriends, if I was their girlfriends, I might be a little worried they're covering up.
Kaysen goes all the way out to D.C., watches the NC State Wolfpack win, drives back that night, gets in at 5 a.m., and makes it for the 11 a.m. Pirates start on a Sunday. Yeah. That's dedication. And I'm right there next to him, boots on ground. So you got it.
Well,
game recognized game.
I go, is that your dogs out here in the background?
It is my dogs. I'm about to go tell them to shut up. They don't
Charleston
shut up.
money line. That's what that is. He's barking to take Charleston money line over Alabama.
He is very excited about Charleston money line. All right, guys, let's do MLB divisional previews, and we may circle back to some more March Madness talk. We'll go. Well, we already almost need to get another break in. That means we can run through the AL Central because it's the worst division in the history of mankind. I don't know about you guys. I love baseball, but I cannot watch AL Central baseball. Twins, Guardians, Tigers, Royals, White Sox has got to be the most brutal.
They all stink.
I mean,
they're bad.
Outside of watching Gavin Williams, I have no desire to turn on this division. Fangraph playoff odds: the Twins 65% chance to make the playoffs, and overwhelming odds to win the division. There is nobody in this division that is actively trying to win.
No.
They're all losing money, selling off. I don't know. Do y'all have any thoughts on this division before we move on?
The Royals extended Bobby Witt with money from Patrick Mahomes. It's really good. Brady Singer's a great young arm. I think he's going to develop into something that's probably the most exciting thing you care about pitcher duel between him and Gavin Williams in the coming years. Tigers suck. Javier Baez, I don't even know what his batting average was in spring training. I think it was a .074 or something. He's atrocious. They overpaid him. The Twins are the Twins. When's the last time the Twins won a playoff series? I couldn't tell you.
I think it was 0-1 when they beat the A's in Moneyball.
I was about to say, I don't think I was alive yet.
They won last year. They beat the Blue Jays.
That's right.
Oh, it's the Blue Jays. Does that really count?
No.
Whit Merrifield. Next.
So
Sorry,
no, I will say, I think the Royals are on the come up. They're still not good yet, but to your point, Joe, they've got a few exciting players. So, yes, I go, this division's brutal, but if there's a team you're actually going to watch, even though they might have the worst record of the 5 teams, I think Kansas City, you're going to be looking at some players for the future that we could be talking about 4 or 5 years down the road in that Kansas City clubhouse right now. So that's kind of your
It is eerily reminiscent to when they went on that World Series run, like the years before when they had the young talent and the good pitcher building. It's eerily similar.
Yeah, I agree with that. The Royals are at least fun, and they actually played. I won't say fun, but they have the potential to be fun. The White Sox guys have just. I mean, they sold Dylan Cease, and they have sold off most of their pieces. They have a 0.0% chance of winning the World Series, according to Fangraphs. Like them, the A's, the Nationals, and the Rockies have a 0.0% chance of winning the World Series. Okay. The only 4 teams.
Well, it's like betting on Leicester City to win the Premier League in 2016 is what this kind of sounds like to me.
I think they might have actually had odds to win, though.
5,000 to 1.
Yeah, see, that's actual odds.
I feel like the White Sox already did a rebuild, and now they're doing another one, which just goes to show that if you do a rebuild and, it doesn't guarantee success. Everybody tried to do one like the Astros, but it has not worked for the White Sox.
Was it the LCS or the ALDS when they played the Astros 2018 or 2017? They got far. They had a playoff run. 17. Yeah, they had a playoff. It was 17. They had a playoff run.
Yeah, I think they
they had something to build off.
I think they made the CS because I think they beat the Red Sox
CS also.
in the DS.
And then Game 6, I think it was, is when the Astros beat them.
Yeah.
But they've gone deep. So they had the pieces. Tim Anderson was a young star. Obviously now he's in Miami. He's not young now. But they had pieces and it looked like they were building up. And then Luis Robert obviously has become a great player for them. But they have no pitching. Lance Lynn. That's all they had.
I think Lance Lynn's like 10 years older than I go.
And pitching for the Cardinals.
I'm trying to find. It looks like 2021 they were pretty good. 2017-18 they were bad, so it had to have been 21 maybe.
Then it might have been 21. Whatever it was, recently they were in the CS.
Yeah. We'll do some research during the break and confirm it. We got to get another
21,
break.
21 was Stroh's Red Sox.
Okay.
They might have been DS.
Yeah.
So maybe they didn't make it.
Maybe.
We'll figure it out. All right, let's get a break in. We'll come back. We'll figure that out, and then we'll have an NL Central discussion, much more fun division. And then we'll get into the AL West, go Mariners, baby, and the NL West as well, which should be fun with the Dodgers, Padres, and Giants making several moves. We'll be right back. This is Hoist the Colors.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Fifth Street Hardware is the home of the $9 lunch special Tuesday through Fridays. $9 specials every day, including the famous Burger Day on Tuesdays, Flatbread Pizza Wednesday, the famous Fifth Street Hardware Reuben on Thursday, and fried fish or shrimp on Friday. Plus trivia on Wednesday nights and live music every Thursday nights. And the Prime Rib Brunch Buffet has returned on Sundays. You heard that right. The Brunch Buffet with all the great items, including prime rib. Fifth Street Hardware in downtown Greenville.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Climb aboard as we set sail and hoist the colors.
Arr, matey!
Back to the show with Steve and Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the colors on this Friday. We've talked ECU baseball. We've talked March Madness. Now we are doing our MLB divisional previews. We just did the AL Central as fast as possible. We were trying to figure out when the White Sox made a run. So in 2020, that stupid COVID season, they made the AL wildcard playoffs, then were bounced in that. And then in 2021, they did win 93 games. They made it to the ALDS, losing to the Houston Astros. So mixed results with the rebuild. Certainly could have done more. You know, considering their core of Eloy Jimenez, Luis Robert, all those guys. Disappointing. I know Patrick Mason, who covers a lot of ECU games for the Reflector, he's a White Sox guy. We talk about it quite a bit. They're kind of a mess right now. They even screwed up Jason Benetti. Somehow he's now with the Tigers, their play-by-play guy. So
yeah, I feel bad for Patrick. At least he's seen 3 Stanley Cups recently. But being a Bears fan and a White Sox fan,
that's tough.
Yeah.
All right, guys, NL Central, and I think this is one of the more fascinating divisions overall. You look at it, I mean, you can make the case really 4 different teams can win the division. I don't think the Pittsburgh Pirates are going to win, although they should be improved this year. The Cardinals, Cubs, Brewers, and Reds. The Reds may be the most exciting young team in baseball with all their young talent. Now, they've had some pretty bad luck this preseason with injuries, but I really like the future of their team. The Cardinals had an awful year last year. Now, the projections love the Cardinals to bounce back this year. They've got a 35% chance to win the division, 50% chance to make the playoffs. They did sign Sonny Gray in the offseason. Of course, Alec Burleson, part of that roster. I'm not quite sure where he's going to fit in, guys, because they've got a million outfielders. I don't know. What do you think of the Cardinals, Joe? Do you like them bouncing back as much as the projections?
I'm not doing this again this year. I did it last year. I sat behind the glass, and I told Philip, I was like, I think the Cardinals can win the World Series. I picked them to win the World Series. I'm a moron, clearly. I'm not doing it again. You sign 45-year-old Lance Lynn like that's a big free agent signing when he imploded in L.A. for the Dodgers. You go sign Brandon Crawford, who hasn't played a competent game of shortstop in the last 5 years, to be your guy next to Nolan Arenado, who, by the way, is just rotting away as an MVP multiple times. You got Paul Goldschmidt, who's like 97 years old, who's also an MVP playing first base. And you don't know what you're going to do with Burleson. Sonny Gray is your day one guy right now, which is fine. You lose Jordan Hicks, who goes and signs a deal with the Giants to be a starting pitcher, but you had him as a one-inning specialist reliever. I'm not doing it again. I'm not believing in the Cardinals. I'd rather put money on the Pirates to win it all because at least they got Skeens. They got the catcher in Davis. They got the one that they moved to the outfield in Skwlinski. And they got, might I add, O'Neal Cruz. Sorry. I don't really feel good about it.
Yeah.
Clearly, you're not a Cardinals guy.
Yeah.
Hey, Nolan Arenado is only 32, by the way. You make him sound like he's like 45.
You say he's going to rot away because they can't put a team around him.
Thank you.
Goldschmidt is 36. He's pretty old.
Paul Goldschmidt's actually rotting away.
What do you think, Philip? Are you as down on the Cardinals as he is?
I'm not that down. And this is a team that they've got, as we mentioned, a deep outfield. They've got players. I don't think they're a World Series contender, but also I think this is one of those interesting divisions. And not that I think it's weak, but I don't think there's a clear front runner.
That's true.
As you mentioned, there's 4 teams in this thing. The Cubs' bullpen improved, which they needed drastically. I think they had more bullpen losses. It was either the most bullpen losses by any team last year or the most bullpen losses by any team with a winning record last year. They won 83 games. So the Cubs have fixed what is supposedly their issue. This Brewers team is probably the worst Brewers team it's been in 10 years, but they're still not bad. This is just because the Brewers have been a solid, backdoor World Series contender the last handful of years. The Reds, I don't know if they're ready to win yet in the playoffs, but I think they might be ready to get there or at least knock on the door. Very optimistic about watching this division day in and day out. I'm not as big of a Cardinals hater as Joey Football, but I think there's some potential, and I think there's also some potential for them. They're deep at certain positions where I could see them making trades at the deadline because they will be in the hunt come July 31st to where they could maybe trade an Alec Burleson or another outfielder to help them get a starting pitcher, to help them get a second baseman, whatever it may be, a shortstop. So, I don't know. It's a fun division. I'm not. So to answer your question, I guess I'm not as much of a hater on the Cardinals as he is. I don't think any of these teams make much noise in the playoffs. I really don't. I think the Reds, they're the team I'm the most optimistic about. I think they need to get there and get their butt handed to them so they can learn what playoff baseball is about. So I'd like to see the Reds do well because they are a good young team. They're fun to watch, a lot like the Orioles. So, we'll see what happens. But this is going to be a fun division. Other than the Pirates, they stink.
Yeah, this is the division I'll at least turn on. If it's like Cubs Cardinals or Cubs Reds, I will watch those games. You will not find Joey Football watching the Cardinals if
not by choice.
At all possible.
Not by choice.
Alec Burleson, by the way, hitting .357 this spring, 941 OPS across 42 at-bats. So he's having a good spring. Hopefully he can find his way into the lineup, former Pirate. All right, guys, AL West, it's my turn to shine. And
here we go. There we go. Sell a shot.
Look, I'm a huge Seattle Mariners fan. You guys may or may not know that. I only wear a Mariners shirt like 2 times a week. Sooner or later, they or the Rangers are going to overtake the Astros. The Astros actually, I know the Rangers won the World Series, but the Astros still found a way to win the division last year. They are once again the heavy favorite to win the division this year. 61% is their Fangraphs odds to win the division. The Mariners are slotted in behind them, 23.2% chance to win the division, followed by the Texas Rangers at 11.3%. A lot of people are projecting a backslide for the Rangers. The interesting thing about the Rangers is they're going to add potentially Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom by the All-Star break if those guys can get back healthy. So their pitching is going to be sketchy to start the year. They also got Corey Seager banged up. So if they can just not fall too far behind the 8 ball, the Rangers could be in good position going down the stretch, depending on what happens with those injuries. The Mariners, it's all about pitching with them. Their rotation is as good as just about anybody in baseball. They've got 5 very good starters: Luis Castillo, Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Bryce Miller, Brian Wu. Those guys, they're all right-handed, but they're all nasty, and the bullpen's really good too, even though they have some injuries they're dealing with right now. So Seattle's all built on pitching. It's all about offense with them. If they can get enough offense, they can win the division. But I still, to me, you got to go Astros as the favorite until proven otherwise. I know the Rangers beat them in the playoffs last year, but I'm still taking the Astros to win the division. Thoughts, Joey?
I'm torn. And not just because I'm an Astros hater. They're on a downslope. I think them losing Baker is going to be a lot more than people let on as far as managerial, pitching matchups, understanding how the lineup works. Pena was Rookie of the Year and a Gold Glover, and we saw him kind of take a step back last year. Wasn't the same shortstop he needed to be, made some bad defensive errors. Altuve just got an extension, but is he starting to slow down a little bit? Bregman's going into his contract year, so Bregman's going to have a great year, but is he going to be the Bregman you need him to be in that lineup, or is he going to be too concerned about his numbers? He is a Scott Boras client also, so is that weighing on him considering how things played out this year? I think the Rangers win it. I think knowing what they know now, I think Bochy has them in a place where they can capitalize on the momentum from last year, which is weird to say as a World Series champion. But they have so much young talent. You got Josh Jung, you got Jonah Heim, You've got Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker, who are just sitting in the minors, also just waiting to develop and become those next steps in the ace rotation, as well as Scherzer, as well as DeGrom. And that Nathan Eovaldi guy has been pretty good the past couple years as well. So I really like the Rangers. I don't think it's going to be a 3-horse race with your Mariners, unfortunately. I think they sneak in as a wild card, but I think the Rangers take the West.
The thing that worries me about this Ranger staff is that bottom part of it until those two guys come back.
Yeah.
But I love the veteran leadership with Eovaldi and Gray. You know, John Gray's not a guy who's talked about enough because he pitched in Colorado and they were so bad, and obviously let up a decent amount of home runs because he pitched in Colorado.
Yeah.
But I think they can be the leaders for those young guys. Now, they've got to stay healthy until these other guys get back, especially. Right. You know, Gray's 32, Eovaldi's 34, but I like the Rangers to at least contend for this one. But like Igo said, they can't dig themselves too big of a hole early.
I do have to say, Igo, I'm very high on Kirby. We've had conversations about this off air. He's my pick preseason Cy Young. Truly speaking for the AL. I think he's got great stuff. He's going to take a big leap.
He has got the most insane strikeout to walk ratio because he just doesn't walk guys. I mean, he is a pitcher's dream and a fantasy owner's dream. I got him in fantasy baseball. Helps out the strikeout to walk ratio every day.
Spicy.
All right, we got to get a break in. We'll come back. We'll do NL West. We also may have a NASCAR minute as well if we got time. Hoist the colors on a Friday.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport. Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
Interbanks Media and 1079 WNCT presents Concert on the Common.
1, 2, 3, say, I love beach music.
It's back April 25th with the Embers.
Girls hit you hallelujah, 'cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you.
Don't miss Concert on the Common with the Embers.
Concert on the Common, thanks to Interbanks Media, the City of Greenville, and the Junior League of Greenville.
We'll see you at the show.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
When a place is as special as this, you don't want to change a thing. You simply want to enjoy it, just as it is. That was our inspiration behind Bow Coast West, our newest community in Beaufort, North Carolina. Embrace all that we love about this very special place and make it easy for families to enjoy all that this coastal lifestyle has to offer. Be inspired. Bow Coast West.
Hey, grab me one too.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
Here. This is Hoist the Colors Radio with Stephen Igo.
Yes, that was so good.
On 94.3, The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Only got a couple minutes left, so we'll run through this. We're doing our MLB divisional previews. We've done them all, and we're now in the NL West to wrap things up. And, guys, it's pretty simple here. The Dodgers, the overwhelming favorite. Can anybody take them down? What do you think, Joey?
Can I pick against this? Because the Dodgers aren't even what we should talk about. The Padres literally have a team of all shortstops. They have the ability, they could go 9 former shortstops as players, and people are picking them like they're going to be the second coming of the 27 Yankees. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the West. I'm sick of Yamamoto getting the hype. Shohei Ohtani's basically Pete Rose reincarnated at this point. The Rockies suck. The Giants paid $150 million to win 80 games. I don't want to pick the West. I back out.
All right.
So is that Dodgers or what?
Diamondbacks.
He's taking the Diamondbacks. So I will say this. If you take the amount of losses right now the Giants have, the Diamondbacks have, and the Rockies have, combine them and then multiply them by 1 trillion, they still have less losses than the Dodgers already have this regular season. So the Dodgers
It checks out.
Yeah, technically it does.
That
No, I'm
checks
just
out.
kidding. Dodgers are winning the division. But I do like the Diamondbacks as a wild card.
All right, so there's your MLB preview. Yeah, I don't think anybody knocks down the Dodgers, and kudos to the Giants for at least trying and spending some money. All right, guys,
come on,
NASCAR.
do or do not. There is no try. Come on, you're a Star Wars fan.
Have the power of friendship on
Very
their
true.
side, and ball go boom.
Oh my goodness!
All right, NASCAR. Denny Hamlin wins at Bristol last week, and what do we got this weekend, Philip?
Circuit of the Americas, it's an F1 course. You got to survive turn 1. They're going to go 7 wide into turn 1 after every restart. A lot of luck's got to be on your side, but you got to be a good road racer.
Circuit of the Americas. So this is this like a road off course track or what
it's
is
a
it?
Formula 1 track in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
Yep. Hills. It's not great. It's
do y'all
graded,
like this
but it's
type of
not
racing?
flat.
In moderation. I like it. I think 6 road courses on the schedule, whatever they've got now, is a little too many. But I kind of wish with this track, everyone likes the wide where they can go in. It's turn 1, 7 wide. I wish they would move the start-finish line for the Cup just because I think you get too many unnecessary wrecks. Like last year there was a big wreck on the first lap. It took Jimmy Johnson out. It's like, well, dang.
I agree. It should be on the back straight of this track.
That's
where they should move the front or the start-stop line for NASCAR. It's long enough.
All right, guys. Time has come to get out of here. We did a lot today in a short amount of time. We could have a 3-hour show on days like today. But appreciate you, Joey Football. Appreciate you, Philip Pilkington. Thanks to Scott Rogers as well. We'll have our full MLB preview with division picks and also maybe some MVP discussion, Cy Young picks next Wednesday on the show with Bobby Harward, and we'll get maybe Joey Football on as well. We'll see you on Monday at 12 noon. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the madness.
Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo. Tune in weekdays at noon for all things ECU sports. Get a recap of the show at 943thegame.com on Twitter.